King Charles was one of the only royal family members to visit his great-uncle, Edward VIII in France. The 74-year-old was reportedly keen to build bridges between his family, even urging the late Queen and Queen Mother to reconcile with Edward. Royal expert and author Gareth Russell claimed that, in a recent response to the King's handling of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, he shows a recurring theme of extending olive branches to members of his family. Mr. Russell told Us Weekly, "I found out that in the late 1960s, and early 1970s, when Charles was still pretty young, he was one of the only members of the royal family who was prepared to go over to Paris to visit his great-uncle, Edward VIII, and Wallis Simpson." He added, he said to the Queen Mother and to the Queen, "I think we should try to build bridges between this side of the family." He thought his great-uncle and aunt should be brought back into the fold a bit. The author, who wrote the book about the late Queen Mother called Do Let's Have Another Drink, said, "So there is a past track record of Charles doing things like this." Harry's UK return raises hope for coronation attendance as he braves hostile environment. In that sense, it tracks as consistent with what we know of him as a person. Mr. Russell then went on to discuss the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, stating that the pair could face similar circumstances to Edward VIII and Wallis Simpson. Like Harry, Edward travelled out of the UK when he stepped back from royal duties. Edward lived in Paris, and after moving to France, though he would still be an important figure. Sarah Ferguson announces major career move as she prepares to turn books into TV series. Much like Meghan, Wallis was born in the US. Referring to the Sussexes as significant now due to large public interest, Mr. Russell said this will fade. He said, "They will become insignificant in the way that Edward VIII became insignificant and very unhappy. Don't miss. King Charles too busy for Harry talks despite surprise London trip." Latest poll: should Harry meet the King for peace talks now has back in UK? Poll: King Charles plans to evict royal children from their London homes. Latest: it remains unknown whether Meghan and Harry will be in the UK for the King's coronation in May. Prince Harry is currently in London to show his support to the High Court case he and other well-known personalities have brought against associated newspapers. The Duke of Sussex is not expected to meet the King or Prince William during this visit.
From above.